You've probably heard of or even seen a test shot in Rocket League before. And in the off chance you haven't, here's a quick example. And no, that guy wasn't the best freestyler in the world. This was a test user, and he uses a nifty program that basically turns him into a Rocket League god. So for today's video, I put 4 of the best test users in the world up against each other in a 2v2 tournament for $100. Oh, and did I mention they cannot communicate between each other at all? Let's just say that got a little bit chaotic. So now without further ado, let's go straight into today's video. Alright, so as mentioned for today's challenge, I have 2 teams who cannot communicate with each other trying to create their most insane test shot ever. Now in about a week, me, Tenacity and Thanovic are going to judge their shots and see who wins that $100. But in order to fully appreciate what these guys are going to be doing over the next week, I need to make sure that I even know what's going on. So I decided I'm going to hit my first ever triple flip reset using tests, whilst having never used any of this before. So that's going to be interesting. Now, before we start, what I need to do is I need to start recording this actual shot. So now at the top it says recording, and I can go do the setup for the triple flip reset. Alright, so let's hit that ball, get a good pop, and that is a pretty good setup. Alright, so now that I recorded the setup, all I need to do is stop and update, and whenever I press start again, it will replay whatever I just did. I've lowered the recording speed a little bit, which means that every time I take over, the game should slow down again. Here we have our setup, and the moment I press boost, I can actually take over, and as you see, the game slows down. I get a reset. It's not great, but basically what I can do now is keep doing this over and over and over again until I get that triple flip reset. So let's see how long it takes me.
One eternity later.
Alright, it's been about an hour, and honestly, I'm waving the white flag. This is really difficult. Even with tests, I couldn't get free resets. This is the closest I could get. So that just shows that even if you have hacks, it is not easy to pull this off. Now with that knowledge, let's see how our actual test users are doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna create my task. So I'm gonna start here, and I don't know how long it's going to be because I never do 180 wave dash because I always do chain dash like this.
So Bredzel's teammate is Nox, and Nox forgot to send in any footage. So here's an animation of what it probably looked like.
What I intend on doing is starting the Taz. You can actually start your car and ball starting state to be anything and anywhere really. So like I can be up on the ceiling and have the ball going like 100 kilometers an hour flying across the screen if I really needed to. So we're gonna spawn our car up in the air, and we're going to have the ball flying at us. So that way we can immediately psycho it again to then get a reset, so that way it resets up to the ceiling, and then we're gonna knock out the 4 helis. So then after that, probably drop down and do plan B, maybe 2. That's perfect. Oh my god, it actually got hit up so perfectly high. Alright, I had to backtrack a little bit because I started doing the time and I was not making good time. So now we're going to pop to a Jaxie, then we're going to knock out the 4 helis. Alright, I think that's 4.
Treefoo forgot to record audio, which actually works out perfect, because that gives me the opportunity to tell you about the secret challenge I snuck into this video. I DM'd all the players and gave them 2 sets of shots they had to put somewhere in either their first or their second 15 seconds. So that should add a little spice to the competition. And with that, let's see how they do on day 2. So for day 2 we didn't have any footage of Nox either, but I imagine it went something like ah oui oui, flip reset, baguette est très bien. 99% sure it was something like that. And with that, back to Fractal.
Alright, so we're back for a ground pinch to a sidewall that we can redirect to the ramp, so that way it can potentially bounce back, and then that'll probably be the end of our time. So then that way we can give it back to Treefoo, and then not sure what he has, but hopefully he has something in the air. Alright, so After a while, we ended up getting a ceiling to pancake, or a ceiling pancake to a couple of jump stalls. So as soon as I get the reset, I'll jump and immediately stall. And then we get a jacksie. That'll give us a nice pop. And it took probably about an hour or so to get all these resets into a good setup for a ground pinch. So after these resets, we have a good setup for a ground pinch, and now we got it at 151 launch. Kind of hard to get to it, but now that we have that, that gives us our base for what we need. So now we can fine tune it.
Okay, so I realized how impossible it was for me to do my task with Subpsycho that knocks does. So I lost like 5 seconds to reach the ball after his touch, so I'm gonna have to change the last touch. Okay, so I have bad news. I forgot to save my task, so I have to do it again.
So, Trifu's second part also didn't have any audio, so you're stuck with me again. However, with Trifu being the final of the 4 players to send in their second part of the combined 60-second shot, we're almost ready to get the judging going. And at this point, I haven't seen any of it. I'm recording this in post, obviously. So, without further ado, I think it's time me, Tenacity, and Thanovic go watch these shots to judge who will win the $100. Oh, and to see if Fractal can finally beat Bredzel in one of these videos. The first 1 minute shot.
So smooth.
Yeah, good catches. Oh wow.
Oh my god.
That
Stall
is
into an air dribble.
insane. Alright.
Into a pogo.
Logo.
These touches are so smooth.
Let's see. Oh, I thought he was gonna finish with
Psycho?
the Psycho. Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking of Psycho 2 there, but... Alright, little catch.
Brings it down.
Okay, the little.
That's
360s.
That's pretty impressive.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, I love these sideways dribbles. I can't
That is
figure
so
it out.
clean.
They're so difficult. All right, well, like a backwards musty and do a flip reset. Another flip reset. Pancake.
Oh!
Wow.
That is pretty clean.
That was epic. Here we go. Ooh. Quick start. Do we need to
Okay,
restart
already,
that, or
yeah,
are we good?
A different start.
These helicopter resets.
6.
Ooh, that was clean.
Ooh.
A good catch. Okay.
Ah, see, that's the kind of stuff I love. Like, you could do it, but it's just so, like, perfect.
Oh yeah, this is definitely clean. Holy.
That is
So
on the. He's getting the.
Ooh,
Okay,
more
into the
stashes.
more stashes.
Alright, alright.
Do a pinch.
Gonna be Psycho,
Into a
no?
psycho? No.
Oh.
Catch. Oh, I'd say that killed the momentum of it a little bit for me. Still good, but
Yeah, those definitely. Oh, it's a little bit slow in the end here. Still good, little.
yeah.
Clean finish,
No,
but
no,
yeah,
yeah,
I
good
get what
finish.
you mean there.
Now that we have all the individual scores, it's time to add them up and get these guys in a game to let them know who won the $100. So, let's get into a private match. I'm gonna start with Team Fractal. Team Fractal, we did the judging, and although the score is gonna sound hard, you gotta keep in mind it was a 0 being absolutely unimpressed and a 10 being my jaw is on the floor for like the whole minute straight. We ended up giving you a combined score, overall wow factor, creativity, and the smoothness of 6.8.
6.8. All right. Okay. All right. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Now the real question is, Bredzel, did your team get more than a 6.8, yes or no? Do you think you did get more, or do you think you got less?
I don't know, I didn't see Fractal task.
True.
Say yes or
true,
no.
True. You're confident, or?
No, I don't know.
All right. Well, we did the same for you, where we calculated your score based on the overall wow factor, the smoothness, and the creativity, and you guys got a total score of a 7.3. So that means you guys did win.
Oh, that's it.
GG's.
Oh, GG's. I'm coming for that
GG's.
third sub, Bredzel. I'd be damned having you take 2 dubs and leave me in the dark. I'm coming for you.
Well, thank you to everyone who did compete. I appreciate all your time, guys. I will DM the winners for the payment. And with that, I want to thank everybody for watching. And Yota out.